Being a professional chess player is not what you think it is. It's time to talk about what nobody talks about. I've been playing chess for 18 years now and want to share with you 5 main lessons that I have learned throughout my journey. Lesson number 1. You can never win unless you lose. A lot. When I was a kid, when I was a beginner, I was losing so many games and I couldn't understand why it's happening. Like I was always trying hard, I was putting so much into it, but I still lost and lost and lost over and over again. And I was asking my coaches, like, why does that happen? I was asking all of the stronger players that were around me, why do I keep losing? And everybody told me the same thing. Well, you need more experience. Then you're going to become a stronger chess player and you're going to win those games. And I was like, well, get me this experience right now. I'm going to get it and I'm going to win all of the games. As a kid, of course, I didn't really understand what experience means. And everybody was laughing at me and saying, well, you can't just get the experience immediately. You have to work hard. You have to play a lot of games. You have to make all of those mistakes and then analyze your games, of course, trying to improve your chess understanding. And of course, with a better understanding, you start to make better decisions, and then eventually that leads to a better result. So I learned that there is no short way into it. I just have to really learn and work the hard way. And eventually this shift of mindset helped me a lot in terms of making some chess progress. Also, when I started to lose those games in a tournament, it was so difficult from a psychological point of view to continue the tournament for me, because I was still inside of those games trying to understand why I made those stupid mistakes. And of course, it influenced my current or future games hugely, and I kept on losing one game after another. And so I was trying to understand how to cope with these painful losses, how to move on, how to focus on the next game instead of just being there and, well, keep losing game after game. So I asked some grandmasters, some very experienced players, how do you deal with that? How do you move on without just eating yourself from inside? What they told me is that, well, you should try to look at it not as a sprint, but as a marathon. So it's just an essential part of becoming a stronger player. If you ever want to become a champion, you just have to lose a lot of games now, and you have to learn from it. You have to take proper lessons out of it, and then you're becoming stronger and eventually start to win. So once I started to adapt this strategy, that it's just one small piece in a whole big picture of the goal I'm going to, then it became so much more simpler for me to forget about those painful games and just move on and start a new one, like with a fresh mind. Of course, it's still incredibly annoying when I lose games, especially if it happens because of some stupid mistakes, some blunders. But, well, I managed to deal with it much simpler, and now can focus on the next one, and now can win a beautiful game just the next day after I just horribly blundered. Earlier on, it was basically impossible for me to do something like that. Lesson number 2. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. When you lose a lot of games, when you lose tournaments, and, well, of course, I needed to travel a lot to different cities, to different countries. When you go back, well, inevitably people are starting to say, well, why do you still play in chess? You are not achieving anything there. You're not Garry Kasparov, as one of my school teachers said. Well, you should just quit it and focus on what's really important. And for a school teacher, of course, their lessons is what's the most important thing. But somewhere inside, I still believed in myself. I still believed that no matter what anybody says, I just don't care about it at all. I really believed that one day I'm going to achieve something special. And I have 2 major goals in my chess career. I wanted to become a national chess champion under a certain age, like 12 or 14 years, and I wanted to become an international master. The first one I couldn't ever achieve because mainly my psychological issue. So I was going there, I felt like I'm good enough in terms of my chess level. I'm starting to beat a lot of guys, but at a very important moment where it decides whether I'm going to become a champion or not, I just couldn't handle it in terms of psychology. I just started to blunder pieces in one move. I started to lose positions where I could have just won with my eyes being closed in a normal condition. But, well, in this situation, just couldn't handle it. And so I never achieved this goal. But the second one, the international master, I could play as many tournaments as I could. And of course, I have lost a lot of, but eventually at the age of 20, This whole believing in myself was rewarded as I became the international master. And yeah, the first thing I wanted is to come back to all of those people who say that I'm never going to achieve anything. And also, by the way, I have managed to pass my final exams at school excellently. And so I wanted to go back and say, here you can see that all of you say it is a total garbage. I have managed to achieve my goals. But well, of course, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference. The only important thing is that you prove to yourself that you are capable of doing something. And then once you have achieved that, you can believe that, well, you can achieve even bigger things. So that's an incredibly important thing in life, to believe in yourself. And chess really teaches that, because if you don't believe that you might become a champion one day, you can never become one. You can never play a good game if you don't believe that you are capable of that. You can never outplay your opponent if you are thinking that, well, he's so strong, I can never win against them. It doesn't really help. Even though, of course, you are not the greatest one, you have to believe that. You have to believe in yourself that you can win it at some point. And well, as simple as it might sound, it's really making a huge difference. Also, you have to make sacrifices. You can hang out with your friends all the time, have fun, and you can achieve your personal goals. You just can't do both. So, of course, I had to give up some things in order to achieve what was important for me, but in the end of the day, it definitely was worth it. Now, before going to the next lesson I've learned, I just wanted to mention that I've upgraded my microphone so you can enjoy a better sound quality. Hopefully, it deserves your like. Lesson number 3. Everybody makes mistakes, even the strongest. So when I started to play those really strong guys, some grandmasters, some famous chess players, I was thinking like, well, those are really chess professionals, chess legends. They can never make mistakes. And well, if I'm calculating the variations and I'm thinking that my position is good, I might be mistaken, because it's literally not possible for me to win against those people. And of course, with such a mindset, I really had a lot of difficulties to play against those people, to win some games against them. Once I have shifted my perspective on that and understood that, well, I'm just playing against black pieces here, not against some incredibly famous grandmaster, and titles and ratings and names that don't play any role at all. What matters is the current position, the variations I calculate, how good I'm capable of handling the time management, and yeah, those things. Then I started to become much stronger. I started to outplay them, and well, I started to believe that if I'm in good conditions, if I calculate the variations properly, it doesn't matter who sits there in front of me, I'm capable of winning the game against them. So yeah, everybody blunders, everybody makes mistakes at some point, because, well, we are all human beings. Of course, somebody has more experience, somebody has less, somebody is more talented, somebody is less, but well, the most important thing is, no matter how strong your opponent is, he can always make a mistake, and your task is to understand that and try to use it to win the game. Lesson number 4. Chess gives wonderful opportunities. Chess has changed my life, and it's not an overestimation. It literally affected hugely every aspect of my life. Even though I said that, well, you have to make sacrifices to achieve something special, of course, that's true, but at the same time, chess gives you so many wonderful opportunities. Like, I've made so many nice people, and of course, as a chess player, you get an advantage that if a person plays chess, the chance is high that it's going to be a nice person, and well, you want to hang out with them. Of course, there are exceptions, but for the most part of my life, it worked really good, and I ended up being friends with chess players. Also, you just learn so much when you meet a new culture, when you go into a new country to play a chess tournament, where, well, I could never imagine myself going to if it wasn't for a chess tournament. And my whole perception of the world changed significantly thanks to those chess tournaments, thanks to the opportunity to visit new cities and new countries. Also, of course, you learn languages much better, much simpler, because you speak to people so much, because you see how they use the languages in the natural environment, and that helps tremendously. Also, in terms of personal development, like, as early as 17 years old, I was starting to travel overseas on my own, and inevitably some weird situations happen when you find yourself in the middle of nowhere, where you don't know how to get from A to B, the internet connection is not working, nobody speaks a language you can understand, but you still have to deal with that somehow, and you inevitably grow from these situations, because you think, well, if I have managed to do that, then I'm capable of everything, and that helps a lot in terms of your growth. In terms of my professional development, chess also plays a huge role because, well, I started at some point to play for a German chess club in the German chess Bundesliga. So I started to visit this country and I really liked it here. And then I have discovered what kind of studying opportunities there are in Germany. And I ended up entering German university, and I'm really happy that I have an opportunity to study here now. And well, I also met a lot of people in the process on my chess journey who helped me on my way. So it all wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for chess. A lot of friends of mine and people I know got to United States of America this way because, well, this country is famous for supporting some young chess talents from all around the world. And so you get tuition paid for your university in USA, you get a scholarship, you get some chess tournaments opportunities, you get some nice coaches who help you to improve your chess. So, well, that's just a huge boost in terms of your chess career. But of course, it's all possible. You get those opportunities only if you work hard in the first place. So yeah, there are some sacrifices, but there are some huge advantages too. Lesson number 5. I don't want to be a professional chess player. The most important thing about chess is to quit it at the right time. Like if you take a look at the first 20, 30 elite chess players in the world, of course, they have a wonderful opportunity to play those tournaments and make nice living out of it. But, well, everybody apart from the first 100, let's say, they struggle to make a living out of it. It's so difficult, like the prize money is not that huge at all. And also, well, there is no guarantee that you're going to win a prize, right? If you play a tournament and you're thinking well, I'm not sure whether I'm gonna win this game, I'm gonna win the tournament, and I'm gonna bring something home to my family. Like for me, playing a chess tournament is incredibly stressful on its own, especially if it's a very important critical situation in a chess game, in a chess tournament. My heart rate is so high, but I couldn't even imagine thinking about the right move in the position, calculating some variations, and thinking, well, if I'm not gonna win this game, I'm not gonna win a prize, and that's gonna affect my family because my kids will have nothing to eat or something like that. I mean, that's just incredible. That's horrible in terms of normal life. And so I definitely think that it's not for me. I enjoy playing some chess tournaments from time to time. I enjoy giving some lessons so my students can improve their chess. I enjoy playing with friends or playing online from time to time. But being a professional chess player is definitely not for me. And by the way, I have understood it pretty early in terms of my chess career, so I really wanted to achieve something in this game as a way to prove to myself that I'm capable of that, and also I really had a passion for this game. But in terms of a real profession, I was pretty sure, no, that's not for me. So here you have it. 5 main lessons that I have learned throughout my entire chess career. I'm very curious to find out what are your lessons that you have learned throughout your journey. So feel free to share it in the comments. Now, in this video, I'm sharing with you the most incredible game of my entire chess life, and I promise you it's gonna blow your mind.